Hello, my name is Denis Halandzovskyi. This morning, the western Ukrainian city of Ternopil was shattered by a brutal assault launched from Russian territory. Overnight, waves of missiles and combat drones struck two high-rise residential buildings and critical infrastructure in the city, killing at least 19 people and injuring over 60 others, including children. According to the UAF, the barrage comprised 48 missiles and over 470 strike drones directed at Ukraine's western flank. Amid freezing temperatures and dark skies, rescue crews worked through the night, digging through rubble and battling fires. In Ternopil's Sonyakhnaya massive neighborhood, one building spanning 9 floors suffered collapse from the 3rd floor upward. Another caught ablaze from a missile impact. Witnesses described scenes of panic. "We ran out barefoot into the night after alarms sounded," said one resident, as smoke filled the corridors and explosions reverberated across the city. The mayor confirmed the death toll and noted an industrial zone nearby also suffered a chemical hazard. Authorities warned residents to keep windows closed due to a possible chlorine leak. Power and heating systems in the affected district are now offline, leaving families exposed to the cold. The attack illustrates a disturbing trend. Regions previously viewed as safer rear areas are now under direct fire. Ternopil lies hundreds of kilometers from the front line. Yet this strike demonstrates that no city in Ukraine is beyond reach. The selection of residential targets signals a deliberate strategy of terror designed to undermine civilian morale and strain Ukraine's air defense resources. Ukraine's military has been forced to widen its defense envelope, covering more territory with the same number of interceptors and radar assets. As the dust settles, the focus shifts to how Ukraine and its allies respond, not just politically, but militarily and industrially. Here's what to watch next and why these developments matter deeply. First, casualty updates and infrastructure damage. Authorities will release more detailed numbers: final death toll, number of children injured, how many remain trapped under rubble, and what portion of the buildings may need demolition. These metrics matter because they affect humanitarian aid flow, reconstruction funds, and political pressure on the Kremlin. Second, air defense questions. Ukraine's defense forces will analyze how drones and missiles penetrated so deep. Was it a failure of radar coverage, a saturation tactic, or an insider leak on flight paths? Allies supplying Patriot, NASAMS, and other systems will look for answers. Any shift in coverage, allocation, or procurement will influence whether Ternopil remains vulnerable. Third, international reaction and support. Ukraine will use this strike to appeal for faster deliveries of air defense arms, more intelligence sharing, and greater industrial mobilization. Western capitals will decide whether this constitutes escalation, prompting more sanctions, or broader military aid. How quickly supplies arrive and how visibly governments respond will affect Ukraine's resilience and the Kremlin's calculations. Fourth, psychological and strategic impact. Hitting a peaceful city far from active combat sends a message. Ukraine's rear is no sanctuary. That aims to shake morale, complicate logistics, and widen the war zone. For Kyiv, maintaining public confidence is now as critical as the frontline defense. For Moscow, the cost of sustaining these deep strikes involves resource diversion, air defense losses, and global reputational damage. Bottom line, the strike on Ternopil is a stark symbol of how this war is evolving, from frontline attrition to rear area vulnerability. Every targeted city becomes both a battlefield and a test of Allied resolve. Please subscribe and like for clear, verified updates. And thank you to all of Ukraine's partners for your steadfast support.